Thanks for tuning in to another episode of All Things Entrepreneur. We are a group of entrepreneurs who all got our start in real estate wholesaling and parlayed that success into multi-million-dollar business. It's your girl, it's Jessica Myers, the deal maker.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Mo Hustle, the she builder.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, it's the Grand Guy, the influencer.
I am Superstar Shauna with
DC John.
And together we are Flippin' Love.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Errol J. Allen.
It's time to get ate.
All things entrepreneur. It gets tough, but you gotta stick to it. Nah, don't talk about it.
We got some special guests today. So, first and foremost.
Hey, it's great to be here with All Things Entrepreneur. It's your boy Joel Myers, the other half of Jessica Myers. Yes. And you can find me at _Joel on IG.
I'm Kerry Alexander, aka Manuel. Just in town for a few weeks and here to meet some positive people, do some business, and good to be here.
Cool. I'm Fitz, financially Fitz, and I'm all things crypto. So
You got the crypto boys in here.
Exactly. We got the crypto army. Sion and Shauna couldn't join us tonight, but they will be here for other episodes. And we have a full house with crypto specialists.
Yeah.
Now, the name of the game tonight is talking about crypto and blockchain. Now, some of us are in it, some of us are not. We're all at different points. Can you guys kind of explain what you do in the crypto world and, especially from an entrepreneurial standpoint? Because, it's all about, how can I make money off the 9 to 5?
So let's take it from the beginning. What exactly is crypto? You have fiat money, which is cash that goes in your wallet. And you have crypto, which is digital money that goes in your computer, right? And it's digital. We move it around the internet, which is Internet 3.0, the Internet of Value. So we just need to basically understand what is crypto and why it's going to be important and why is it going to be the next part of the next industrial revolution. Crypto is truly amazing. It's solving a lot of problems within our economy, and it's a lot of good projects out here. So I just met these other crypto guys, and we have different strategies, and so I think we're going to delve into it tonight.
Oh, we are. Definitely. What would you add to that, Fitz? I'll finish it up then.
and yeah, I think he summed it up pretty smooth. For the most part, it's always hard for me to, get started talking about crypto because it's
so many layers.
It's so vast, right?
Yeah.
It's an entire universe.
It's where do you start at?
Explain to them about blockchain. Maybe start there, so we could, give them a little bit.
Yeah, because we're saying crypto, which is short for cryptocurrency, but you just mentioned something of blockchain, which is more so a network of computers, correct?
Yeah, explain to our blockchain.
And how does that translate to money? Because when you talk about money, you say, cool, it used to be backed by gold. Now you're talking about this thing on the computer that's supposed to make me money in real life, and it's the network of computers. What does that mean?
Okay, so blockchain, and actually I think Joel might be the best person to answer that particular question.
Yeah, I was that.
Because when I want to understand blockchain or crypto from a technical standpoint, Joel is actually who I'm calling. Okay.
And it's also as well as the technicals that he's speaking of, the philosophy that blockchain is created on, it's about community.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's about community. That's what we all desire on a face level, but it's now on a Web 3.0 level. Mm-hmm. So the blockchain is a bunch of computers who secured that thing.
Yes.
Who secure the amount of the coins that community has value in to pass along to each other. Mm-hmm. So it gets very philosophical, but tangible assets are acquired by this intangible community of computers and those who buy into the community, which all they have to do is trust the rules of that community. And so we have so many different communities.
Can I add something to that? And that's a great point. So I'm just making it a little simple for the layman.
Yeah,
and I don't really know the audience experience with crypto, so I'm gonna just break it down a little bit.
Layman terms, please.
Yeah,
Baby, please.
So,
The new kid.
I'm the new kid. I'm the baby. Let's break it all down.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna break it down. So you have a ledger, right? And you have all these transactions going through all your central banks around the world. You got You got the Federal Reserve, which is the central bank of the United States. You have the European Central Bank. And every time there's a transaction, they have a ledger. They have the ledger of each transaction. But crypto is decentralized. So there's no central bank for it right now. He and I was talking about this earlier. There will be CBDCs. There will be, but there's none now. So what blockchain does is it takes all those crypto transactions that's going over the internet and is logging it to the blockchain.
So it's like the trust
Yeah,
network.
it's a distributed ledger of technology, just like the trust,
Okay.
right? So you have to have a record. So if I send him 1,000 Bitcoins right now, there has to be a record of that. And somebody has to mine that transaction and, and solve that transaction. So that goes on a distributed ledger. And so you put all these distributed ledgers together, you have a blockchain. So distributed ledger here, put them all together, creates a blockchain. So it's just a blockchain of all these crypto transactions that's gone over the internet.
And to make it a little even more simple, even more elementary terms, think about it like you going to the books, to a library, a bookstore, a library. Like back in elementary school, you had to check out a book. Now imagine every last one of us had a copy of the check-in and check-out sheet, right? So let's say John checks out a book, right? And he then transfers or passes that book on off to Joel. He does it in front of the classroom, right? Everybody who sees that, we validate that on our version of this ledger, of this check-in and check-out sheet, right? So now we validated that transaction actually happened.
Yes.
So everybody knows that book is now in Joel's possession. He controls that book right now, right? And that's what blockchain is. It's a universal version of that. So there's no middleman needed in that particular situation because everybody's watching. You see? So how we have banks in the middle of these transactions, we have blockchains that come in and they facilitate those middleman transactions. So the difficult part about understanding is that's a very rudimentary way of understanding blockchain, right? So think of blockchain as infrastructure, right? Think of it as infrastructural as in fire, right? If somebody asks you what fire is, or even the internet, right? Somebody from another planet came, hey, what's fire? What's the internet, right? How would you explain that? There's so many use cases from fire, so many different use cases of the internet, even as simple as a website. So many different types of websites. You can't put it in a box. You can't put blockchain in a box. It's just an infrastructural piece of technology that you continuously build on top of.
Absolutely.
To allow for peer-to-peer transactions.
Peer-to-peer transactions.
Peer-to-peer transactions.
It's rooted in peer-to-peer. Me to you, you to me.
Yes. And there's no central bank in the middle, so you're absolutely right.
So one of my big things, and I want to make sure before we get too deep, is can we start like how did you get exposed or your journeys beginning in the crypto space? Because I mean, as far as I know, the only thing I knew about crypto before I put a couple dollars in it was there was Bitcoin back in like 2012. But like, when did y'all get your start? And then my second question, because I don't want to forget it, what are your daily habits when it comes to studying up on crypto? Like, what do you do to read the market? Like, you know, if you were to look up real estate, you probably look up like FMLS or the comps, house activity. Yeah. What do you do for crypto? So, two-part question.
Good question.
So who's this question?
All three of y'all.
I'll take it from here to go to there. Okay. So for myself, I got exposed to Bitcoin in 2014 at a conference. I went to Georgia State, graduated from Georgia State, so I'm a college kid, computer science. This is a birth child of computer science. The science of having computers do the work of validating things that humans used to do. So I went to a conference, but I didn't purchase anything. Didn't purchase anything to 2016, and from there, I look at crypto daily.
You said you went to the conference, but didn't they give y'all a parting gift?
They gave us like $3 worth of Bitcoin back then, which probably
in 2014 might be worth how much today?
On a paper wallet that if you don't keep it with your paper wallet, it's like looking at a safety deposit box and you can't get into it, but it's glass because everybody can look and see what everybody has, but there are no names on it. It's just a wallet address.
Well, and this is when they were just giving it away.
So they were giving it away just to increase, but they were talking about exchanges back then. They were talking about these type of things. So it's like, this is growing. 2016 is when I really put my money where my mouth was.
So wait, so that $3 worth of Bitcoin that you got at that conference in 2014
worth
would be worth about how much today?
It's probably worth about $600, $700 now. I would say this is 2014 when Bitcoin is trading at like $300.
Oh wow. Okay.
And it was like right in downtown Atlanta. It was a Bitcoin conference.
Yeah.
So that was one of the highs then. In that case.
Yeah, that was a high.
That was
a high back then.
Yeah.
And so
Because today it's about how much?
68,000.
68,000. It takes
It hit its all-time high about 69,000 yesterday. So it's.
And this is the granddaddy of them all. This is the first to market. Bitcoin is the first creation of the blockchain.
Yes. It was
So
created in
blockchain
2008, right?
Exactly.
So Bitcoin is considered a blockchain itself. That's an example.
Bitcoin is a product of a blockchain. So blockchain is its mother.
The Bitcoin
And
is
it's
blockchain.
Every crypto needs a ledger to track the transactions. So yes, Bitcoin is a blockchain. XRP is a blockchain. VeChain. We don't talk about some other projects tonight, but so that's a great question.
And then first part of my daily stuff, I'm looking at CoinMarketCap.com, CoinGecko.com.
That's the Bible.
I mean, I'm checking those. You know, when I wake up, see what move. I have an Android.
Y'all know what I normally do right here during this session.
Hey, but it's like it's so many tools, and it's a growing environment of tools. But I've been rolling with CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko for years right now, and I'm still utilizing those. Right. And I'm pretty sure there are more opportunities to provide even more specialized news, because people want to know the news.
Yeah, because you want to know, because especially with the possibility of being peer-to-peer, I've always heard about it from the black market side. So it's just like, which ones do you trust, which ones you don't. So that's why it's good that you listed trusted sites where you get info from, because if it's not mentioned on those sites, then maybe give it a little time before you invest in it as a beginner. Yes. What about you?
So my story is not as cool as Joe's. I was sharing with Fitz earlier that I used to be an engineer for the Federal Reserve. But anyway, so I started doing some research, and I was like, he was right about this, and then I downloaded Coinbase and started buying Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP, and I was off to the races.
Yeah.
So, but as far as my daily habits, CoinMarketCap is the Bible. I was showing everyone how to research projects, how to put a crypto in it, look at it, circulate supplies, max supply, look at how it's moving, look at the news surrounding this. Is the management team strong? Look at the technical analysis. I use CoinMarketCap for all that. I mean, I have about 5 different exchanges, so I recalibrate all my accounts every day. Maybe if I need to move some money around.
Because you are your own bank now, remember?
We are our own bank. There's no Charles Schwab. We are managing our own portfolio. There's no Charles Schwab. There's no Fidelity doing it for us. We are them, and that's why I was telling y'all earlier, I want y'all to be educated in this space. I want y'all to be able to look at a project. I need to put my money here. So that's my story. But okay.
I'll save my question. I won't forget.
My start was just being a little transparent. My start in crypto was, like Jessica said, honestly, was dealing with the black market a little bit, and I didn't know what was going on as far as how valuable or what this thing was. I just had exposure to it. Got a phone call one day from an Indian guy that one of my buddies put me in contact with, and he said, "Hey man, you should look into Bitcoin. You know about Bitcoin?" I was like, "I think I said, yeah, I know what Bitcoin is, or I was familiar with it. To me, it was just a way to transact. I didn't think it's nothing of it. It was just fake internet money, And he's like, "Yeah, man, you should invest in it. You should buy something, And I'm like, I asked him, I'm like, "Are you into it?"
Right.
He's like,
First thing you want to know.
Nah. He's like, "Nah, I don't have enough money to do it, but you do." I said, "Yeah, man." I cut that conversation real short. Then didn't think about Bitcoin again for at least another couple years, and then I met a guy in my building. I was living in a pretty expensive building in Atlanta, and met this guy, and he shared with me that he was making about $3,000 a day with Bitcoin, but he wouldn't tell me exactly what he was doing.
Right.
That's the thing.
And after that, during the time, I was making pretty good money, so it wasn't really anything that I, felt compelled to, talk to him about. I'm like, okay, cool. eventually I started somehow. I don't remember. I promise I don't remember. But eventually I got the idea of, I'm like, if everybody gonna be out here buying Bitcoin, I need to be getting some Bitcoin ATMs. You know, Bitcoin ATMs not popping yet. You know, it's only a couple of them, but I know that a lot of people buy Bitcoin.
That'll be
So my goal was to start buying Bitcoin ATMs.
That's the way.
Exactly. I ran into some hurdles from just some regulatory issues and stuff, and kind of stopped me in my tracks a little bit. I eventually had a situation where I was forced to start over. Lost all my money. A lot of it was taken. And I moved back down to Savannah. My buddy was nice enough, kind enough to let me crash at his spot for a while. I had a friend send me $500. That's when I started researching how this guy was making $3,000 a day off of Bitcoin.
Was he mining or what was he doing?
He was
Or just trading?
and prior to this, I had experience wholesaling. I was actually a pretty decent wholesaler.
Okay.
Real estate?
You talking to the whole
So I was like, we actually all got our start.
Yeah.
You talking to all the same.
You're in our realm now. You talking about crypto? You said something about wholesale?
Yeah, I was pretty good at wholesaling. Like, you can probably gonna find some of my old threads on Bigger Pockets. You know.
Okay.
And long story short, just to wrap it up, I figured out what he was doing. It was called OTC trading, over the counter trading.
Okay.
So he would go and buy Bitcoin, and then he would resell it to people as if he was like a mobile ATM, Bitcoin ATM.
One of my
he would
boys
just
did
charge
that.
him a fee. So when I found out about it, I was like,
Right.
Hold on. Wait, so did he purchase it at a certain, like at a lower
he purchased
price,
it
and then
at
once it
base
jumps up,
price. No.
then he's selling it to other people for less than market value?
He sold it for the convenience of getting the coin.
Exactly. So he would. I don't know what he was charging, but I'm pretty sure it was at least 25% on top of whatever the Bitcoin price was at that time.
I need an example.
One of my silent partners did that. One of my silent partners for real estate did that, and that's how I became my silent partner.
You gotta understand, Bitcoin was really hard to get.
Hard to get. It was hard.
Very
That
hard.
sounds like you're wholesaling Bitcoin.
Right. That's what I was saying.
That's what I'm saying. I need a real life example.
That's right.
So say you bought the coin for how much?
Let's say I bought some coins during that time when I started. I think it was maybe around $1,000.
Okay.
You know, $1,500.
Okay.
You know, and I would sell it at a premium. So I would put 25. I would put no, not 25. Depending on how, when I first started, I was able to charge 20 to 25% because I was selling small quantities. And the way that I was selling it through like small like Amex prepaid cards, right? But that's high risk. So the higher the risk, the more premium you charge. As I started getting more volume, right, I had to reduce the price because then my payment methods changed. I moved away from Amex and I started accepting cash in my bank account, or I would actually go and meet people physically face to face. So then my rates when I got to that point, you know, moved from 20% per transaction as a fee to somewhere between 8 and 10%. And eventually I got up to a point where I was, you know, doing around, you know, $100,000 a day, a few days a week, you know, at 8%, you know, and that was real interesting. So that's how my start. But during that time, the more important thing is, right, or where a lot of people like kind of skip over in their crypto journey is, and the reason why I'm able to break down blockchain like that to you guys, not to be, you know, big heads, but a lot of people can't break it down that way because they haven't studied the technology.
All right.
When I was learning Bitcoin, I studied blockchain mostly. Because in the news, you got to realize that when you're reading these different news articles and stuff, they're telling you that Bitcoin is not blockchain. Focus on blockchain, but not Bitcoin. But they don't know that it's one and the same. You can't separate the two during that time because Bitcoin was and still is the most successful blockchain. Wow. So I learned a lot about blockchain during that time. That's how I got started.
I need you to go back to the example though, because I still need to see how did you generate you said you were doing like 100,000 a day. So you said that you purchased that, say what, $1,500 or $1,000?
Well, let's say I bought $100,000 worth of Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
I bought $100,000 worth of Bitcoin.
Okay.
If I sold that Bitcoin, I would get 108,000 back because I'm selling it at 8%.
So you get
Right.
8,000.
Premium.
But who you're selling it to is paying that premium when they purchase, right?
Exactly.
So my question to you is that premium that I'm paying you is still, it's more beneficial. I'm getting a better deal getting it from you than just going to Bitcoin and buying
No,
it.
that's not why you purchase from OTC.
You would be at that time. There's a few places you could get it.
So,
So it's limited access.
yes,
Got
yes,
you.
yes.
it's not
Okay,
necessarily limited access during that time, right? It wasn't limited access. It was more so convenience and speed. Convenience and speed. So people wanted to be able to get their Bitcoin
now versus
immediately versus you go on Coinbase, your funds might get locked up, you might be limited. You can't go to Coinbase first day and get $100,000 worth of Bitcoin and get it the same day.
Right.
They
It's
can't
won't be available till like
So you're
3
like a
days
gas
later.
station. Like, you know how you go to the gas
Yeah,
station?
you like them little mom and pop.
She like the bodega.
The Bitcoin bodega.
Exactly.
Bitcoin
Oh.
bodega.
Hey, that is dope.
Okay.
Right.
That is dope.
Like,
But
yo,
as
son.
time-
pretty dope.
but as time went on, really, you think about it, it was a great area, right? And me being young black male and a part of my situation why I had to move back to Savannah was legal issues. So me dealing with this and me starting to research more and realize that this is real gray area, I decided to get out of it because I'm like,
Can't afford no
I don't
shit.
need no more gray area. Like,
Right,
because
right,
they
right.
might, I saw a European guy, he had to go and do like 2 or 3 years because of some type of, transaction. And I'm like, if they did that to him, imagine what they're gonna do to me.
Right.
6 years.
So I stopped. And I started learning about other cryptos then. And that's when,
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
So what question did you have?
Yeah, my question was, so why crypto? Like, it's so many, like you said you left wholesaling real estate, right? You were good at it. What for everybody, this question is for everybody. Why crypto? Like, what drove you to crypto? Like, I think you went to a conference, but like, real estate, right? What drove me to real estate? Somebody showed me the business. Right? How did you get involved deeply in crypto?
When I saw it, I just understood it. By me having an engineering and technical mind, I understood it. And I knew this was going to be the fourth industrial revolution. Just looking at it. I was pretty new when the internet was coming around, 1995. I was very new in the space. I was very young, didn't have the money to invest. So I missed Google, I missed Amazon, I missed Yahoo. And, but nobody knew what the internet was going to be. But today we know we know what the internet is, right? We know what it is, and we know the value it added. It created a global community. I can do business with somebody in China like they sitting right next to Joel and his wife, And so when I understood that this is going to revolutionize how we send money, no longer is it going to take 3 days to settle a global transaction. Now it's going to take 5 minutes. And you know what happens when it takes 3 days to settle a transaction? Say I owed you $10,000, and you in China, I'm in America, and I sent you $10,000. And if it takes 3 days to settle that transaction, you know what happens to that $10,000?
What?
We don't know. It could be worth $9,000.
Right.
The friction in the market, the volatility,
Right.
or it could be worth more. It just depends. But banks have to have, and I was explaining this to Errol, banks have to have nostro-vostro accounts where you have to have money to cover that slippage.
Right.
Because I don't trust you, you don't trust me. You have the insurance. So you got all this dead money around the world, $27 trillion of dead money sitting in accounts to cover the friction in the market, the volatility. So with XRP and some of the other cryptos that's going to help us move money faster around the world, I mean, it's revolutionary. And they're going to do it 80% cheaper. I mean, this technology is so amazing. And I know me and Fitz kind of differ on, he's not a big fan of XRP, but by my experience, knowing that making global payments is something serious, is something, I mean, you're talking about a $27 trillion market. If XRP gets this much of it, it's going to be a $10,000 crypto. It's going to start doing Bitcoin numbers.
Wow.
So I ain't going to dominate the conversation, but I do want to get a little bit more into my favorite project. I know Fitz does not like the project, but it's my absolutely favorite project.
But that's good that y'all sit next to each other.
Yes.
So you got
The yin and the yang.
you got the yin and the yang.
Yeah, but he has a lot of good points. There's a lot of people in the community, like I said, does not understand the technology. There's a lot of hopium. They thinking,
Hopium. Hey, coming to a shirt near you. Hopium.
Yeah.
There you go.
I need that one.
Yeah. So,
You got that, John?
Hold on real quick.
Why I chose crypto, it plays into my story a little bit. The story that I just gave you guys. I saw it initially as just a way to, make money. I've always been an entrepreneur, you mentioned, like why I switched over from wholesale. Like my personal situation was, I've always been interested in, I've always been like a creator and an innovator. I felt that, it's something inside of me is always like, hey, you got to contribute something major to the world. So even from a crypto standpoint, I don't necessarily lean towards although I got started just from a money making standpoint. The reason why I made that transition was because I noticed that real estate was oversaturated from a legacy building standpoint. Very difficult to separate yourself from other people. A lot of people have already done it in the past. I wanted to do something new, right? A new frontier.
Trailblazer.
Yeah, I got a trailblazer style
Type of energy.
Exactly. So even with crypto, like I see a lot of new crypto gurus out there, doing their thing and stuff, and kudos to them. We need them to spread the gospel. But once again, I have a creator energy, so in the background, things I may not talk about is I'm building things.
So you're not a crypto, like you're a crypto guru or guru. It's a difference.
I'm a crypto guru.
Okay.
So it's funny you say that because I know crypto is it's fairly new to the market, right? So what length of time would have to have gone by to say one is well vested in? It's like, you go 4 years of college, you can say you get this degree and that you are supposedly special or certified in this aspect, but it's just something that I always think about. But my question to you guys is, now we talk about a lot of good stuff and good things with crypto, but what was one project that just went left? What was your biggest L you took in the crypto space and you were just like, I thought that was surely gonna go off to the moon, it just went left? Let's hear it.
Well, I got several, but
top one.
He said several.
One of them is BitConnect. So BitConnect was this.
I didn't think
It's basically a community of wallet holders who got rewarded in these wallets for the length of time and the referrals they got. And it's like a little credit union thing going until it's not going. Like it's going until it's not going. That's the crypto game. Like it'll be going until you get the right amount of contrarians to it to bring the other perspective. And it's like, you guys don't see this, but if you get in coins put in your wallet, you're like, I don't see nothing. It's like, until it runs out.
Right. It makes sense when money's coming in.
Yeah. Right. And then I would say a most recent one is it's called Funder One. Funder One Capital, like presenting a smart contract for real estate transactions. It sounds good. It's feasible because there's this thing called a tokenization. Where we actually take this asset and we translate it into the tokens of the blockchain. But you actually have to do it and be good at it. So if you are in closings and you're not on top of your game, the traditional people don't know this new approach. The clock is ticking at a closing. What is this new approach? What is this new paperwork? What is this new stuff? Oh, this state, we have different rules. So things can bog down and you can think you're a part of a membership where you'll transact that closing, but then if they're not on their game, you lose. So that's the latest one, Funder One Capital. Don't fool up with them.
And I gotta say this because I saw the whole because this is a couple, you guys, like they're married, right? So just like when you're an entrepreneur in something, if Jessica took some losses in real estate, like I saw the look on your face when y'all started talking about the losses.
I mean, you want to take them out?
In the entrepreneurial game, you take L's. We done took some L's, and this was almost a six-figure L, not all the way, but almost six-figure L. And it's like, hey, life don't get easier. We just get stronger.
No, that's right. But hey,
that's a good way to look at it.
you learn something within that space. You learn something within that space. So, I just wanted to ask that because I saw the look, you know.
And that was real. I mean, it's like
entrepreneurship. Her whole face turned red. I ain't never seen that look before.
This is like playing with profits though. Like I'm getting in like 9,000 Bitcoin, getting in at like a $9,000 level Bitcoin, and flipping those profits into that venture.
Right.
So that's what we're dealing with.
Okay.
So I've been following it every day to get in last year at like 9K. It's like, oh, let's put this money into a house now. I really win then. Right. It's like, them guys ain't on their game.
Okay.
So,
That was dope.
Before I get to my answer, is this wood right here? Is this wood?
Yes. Not
I never lost.
Hey, that's big.
Whoa.
Never lost in
Hey,
no fight.
Hey, cheers.
And I'm gonna tell you why I never lost. Because I'm patient. I'm patient. I play the long game. I hodl. We got something we say in crypto.
Yeah,
you know,
hodl.
Hold on for dear life. I hodl.
Hodl.
So I hodl.
Hold on.
So
That's the shirt?
Yeah,
March 14th,
hodl.
2020.
Hold on for dear life. Hodl. Okay.
March 14th, 2020, when we shut down for COVID, I was in a fetal position at home. I lost 60% of my wealth. I was in bed. All my group called me, Kerry, what are we gonna do? And it's funny. I became the de facto leader. My mom walked in my room because I moved in with my mom. I sold my house in Dallas. He walked in there. What are we gonna do with this crypto? I done lost all this money.
Yeah.
Everybody looking at me, and I felt like I made all these people lose.
Yeah.
I said, I'm holding. I don't know what y'all doing, but I'm holding. And it went down all the way down. I started getting XRP at 10 cents. It went up to like $1.92. And when the shutdown happened in March 14, 2020, it went down to 10 cents. So I'm looking at something that was worth $100,000 now at about $20,000, $30,000. I'm like, whoa. Wow. And I'm like,
that issue right
my
there.
friend, so I got everybody on a conference call. Everybody just calm down. It's not just crypto. It's blue chip stocks. Everybody's suffering right now. The whole world.
But it's interesting you said that because that's how, last year for me was very traumatic where, things stopped, but then I wound up in a hotel, getting a hotel. Because it's like in the midst of down markets is where you find the most opportunity.
Come on.
And
Can I shake your white face?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like that is that's how you make those big leaps through
Warren
down
Buffett said you're buying other people's fears. When there's blood in the street, you need to be buying. When everybody's being greedy, you need to be fearful.
So what happened?
Everything. I just waited.
Everything.
You ain't like when you ain't go harder into something else. You ain't put more money.
I started buying more.
Okay.
I started buying the dips.
And
And I was like, man, and I'm from New Orleans, so I'm gonna say something corny. Master P asked himself a question: do I believe in what I'm doing? Because if I do believe in what I'm doing, I'm on a record company and I get a record deal. So I asked myself, do I believe in what I'm doing?
Do I believe in what
I said, hell yeah, I believe in crypto.
I asked myself,
do I believe in what I'm doing? And I went in my retirement account. After, not mind you, I'm already down 60, 70 racks right now. I went in my retirement account and bought more. You know, I bought more V-Chain. I bought more XRP. I bought more everything. There's blood in the streets. Everybody's selling off.
The courage.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so now, are you in a position to where, because I know everybody started going like crazy with crypto lately, and everybody's like getting hip to it, and like I don't even understand it, but I have some.
Okay.
So I'm just
ask questions later. Buy now, ask questions.
I'm following suit, right?
Okay.
Because I'm super green.
Okay.
Like neat lime green.
Okay.
But would you say like where you are now? Is it higher than what it was when?
Maybe 10,000% returns or something like that.
Damn.
I mean,
We ain't gonna try to do the math.
If I did the math, it would be 10,000%.
Now, because the thing is, like, what a lot of people don't understand when it comes to the world of entrepreneurship is that a lot of times when we fall or we're at a low, what seems like a low, the bounce back is way.
Oh my God! Oh my!
Bouncier.
Hold on.
The bounce back.
You bouncing? Can we
bounce?
That spring forward, it was amazing.
Because you got the courage. Because you need courage to be in this stuff.
Right.
Because to be
everybody
down,
not built for this. What y'all doing? Everybody not built for this.
to be down
Well,
70%.
everybody's not good for what y'all are doing because I don't.
But it's all entrepreneurship.
but we like
It is
that.
all entrepreneurship.
True.
To be down 70% in your entire portfolio, and to say I'm gonna take out more disposable cash and go in even harder.
I strengthened that gave me the opportunity to strengthen all those weak positions I had.
There you go.
And that's what I did. I strengthened every position by buying more.
Yeah. The average
You know
price
what?
is lower.
That's so applicable to so many different
It
industries.
is.
Like,
Yep.
you can take these points that are being made, I don't care what industry that you're in, you can apply it.
Yeah.
Because,
Absolutely.
and that's the thing, people have to
Entrepreneurship is universal.
take these pieces.
Like I'm green in real estate. He helped me get my first property in Pittsburgh. He's helping me right now.
Nice.
Like, and
I mean, big ups to that.
Welcome to the city.
Right.
I'm loving Atlanta right now. I'm telling you, I'm loving
But
Atlanta.
big ups to even that, and I wanted to make sure I highlight. So we just got back from Jamaica and we bought back rum, but you just got back from the DR and brought back an investor.
Oh!
I didn't send you that message for a reason.
You
You brought back a whole investor. Hey, but I need your information as soon as we
Oh,
done.
absolutely.
It's okay.
We're gonna create a group
So
for
you
it's
have a
gonna be something
community.
that
Yeah, we got a whole community.
Oh, we already got it going.
Oh, don't worry.
I'm about to join.
Yeah,
What
me
do
too.
we need to do?
What you got, Fitz? I got you.
You got that.
So, I mean, honestly, I took a couple L's in crypto. Not from making bad investment decisions, but it comes from having bad habits. Like I said, I came from a different world,
Right.
fast money, and that creates very bad habits.
Yes, it does.
Creates very, very bad habits.
Super bad.
So it created a high risk tolerance for me.
Right.
So back when I started trading, once I converted from OTC trading, I started to learn how to day trade, right? And I started to learn how to day trade on a platform called BitMEX. BitMEX, and actually, ironically, one of the guys who started BitMEX was a young black guy.
Yeah, bro.
What's his name?
Is that the guy got in all the trouble?
He on the
What's
run.
his
Dog.
name?
They got him.
Hey,
I know exactly who he is. But I
That
can't
the guy that got in all the trouble.
I mean,
I can't pull up his name right
black
now.
guy, young black guy. Yeah, give me his name.
Yeah,
Young
his
black guy.
I remember that.
I mean, BitMEX was like a casino.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, you can literally do a crazy amount of leverage. I
Big
mean,
leverage.
I'm talking 500x. It's absolutely
It's like Vegas.
like crazy. I mean, I'm talking. You know, you turn
I know.
$100 into 50,000.
Arthur
Like
Hayes.
Arthur Hayes.
Arthur Hayes.
That's who it is.
Wow.
Arthur Hayes. He's one of the guys who started BitMEX. Young black guy, made billions. Real billionaire.
Yeah, he was a smart guy.
Real billionaire.
So that's the thing about crypto, and I know a lot of people are hesitant maybe to get in and not understanding it fully.
Oh, no, I'm in, Jess.
Look, you ain't got ice me. I'm like, right.
No, I mean,
Maybe anybody out there. You know.
just other people that are afraid to get in for various reasons. How do you know who to trust? Because like you said, this guy started out with billions. Now he ran off. We got for almost six figures.
He didn't run off.
So
He didn't run
well,
off.
how do you know what to trust? How do you know what's going to stay around? Like you said, about the 4 years or tenure. With something so new.
So nobody didn't take the money from me. I lost it.
I got it.
Let me make this clear. I lost it.
So
I tried to day trade. I was learning how to day trade. Over leveraging, not knowing
So
how
dangerous, so
to.
risky.
It's extremely dangerous.
No stop loss game.
Extremely.
stop
So it's almost just like how how they talk about America, like Britain and America is just the wild child, and it feels so much. Especially talking about entrepreneur people leaving their secure jobs. There have been moments where crypto has bumped us up in the entrepreneurial space, but it's just like how am I like to make plans. If I quit my job, I like to know. Like it's so wild west. It's so.
Can I say something? You bring up a great point, and this is so awesome that we got a case study going on right now.
Right.
There has been studies that show people like me that hodl and people like him day trade. I'm gonna win over the long haul. He's gonna not necessarily but they're gonna lose people who trade and do what he's doing. There's options trading and there's all this day. The study has shown if you buy a strong position and sit on it, you're gonna make money. It's the people who trade and try to over leverage and try to try to strike a
right now.
position
Right
while
now.
day trading, there's always show they're gonna lose at some point.
It's like surfing. Like you
And-
ride that wave, you gotta wait for another wave. You
Yes.
ride that wave, you gotta wait
And
for
it just
another
hit
wave.
me that I never lost, and he's telling me,
It ain't like surfing.
yeah.
You catch a wave.
So when I mentor my people, I'm all hodl. I don't
So
get
buy
into
and hold.
trading.
Buy and hold.
Buy and hold.
Just like us, which is very similar to real estate.
And
Yeah.
that's,
Similar to real
I'm
estate.
gonna say
Buy and
because
hold.
to this day I'm about to fix and flip my first property.
Right.
Everything I've constructed,
Mhm.
I held on to everything.
For real?
Yes,
Right.
everything.
I didn't know that.
My new construction.
Right.
Yeah, my new construction is gonna be my first project. I've been flipping for 3.5, 4
Wow.
years.
So are you gonna hodl this property that you just bought here? Or
Yes,
are
I'm a
you-
hodler. I'm a hodler.
He's a
Absolutely.
hodler.
Welcome to the club.
I did 3 trades. I traded 3 cryptos: Dogecoin, Solana, and Quant. And luckily, I won on every last one of them. But I don't do it much. I bought Doge. I was telling you. Somebody was telling earlier. We were
Earlier,
talking at 9 cents, and just so happened 3 days later it ran up to 50 cents. I pulled out 50 racks. I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
done.
it.
I'm done. I'm done.
Ain't quit it, yeah.
I'm done.
Ain't no holding
How
on
long
right
ago was that?
That was in July 31st. I looked at the position. Dogecoin. I looked at it July 31st. Was I got that position at 9 cents.
So let me ask this question, right? When, almost, you know what? This everybody, you know, if y'all watching, you know I got a sense of humor. When do you know to pull out?
So, great question. Great. That is
Pause.
a great.
Pause for the fellas.
Great. I gotta answer that. Great question. So write down this other acronym, DYOR. You know what that stands? Tell them what DYOR
Do
stands.
your own research.
Okay, so that's one. Understand the technology you're investing in. Understand your strategy. Is it a short-term, mid-term, or long-term project? XRP is long-term for me. Dogecoin was a short-term investment. So you got to know your project. What are your? I know it's a meme coin. I know SafeMoon and Sheeb and all over Joe coins. So I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get out.
Get in, get out.
You know. So if I get wrecked, if I lose 5, 10 racks, okay, I took a chance. And I like fast money too. Who don't like fast money? You know what? That's my play money. That's why I could go to DR and mess around and come here.
Play
whatever.
money. I like that.
So.
Yeah.
But I actually got lucky and won on those trades when I was very risky. So, no, and here's what you have to know as being a new investor, and they always tell you this: nobody's gonna ever buy at the very bottom, and nobody's gonna ever be able to sell at the top.
Sell at the very
So
top.
you're gonna be somewhere in the middle, and you got to figure out what your exit strategy is. Whatever your exit strategy. So if you bought a position at 10 cents, and you say, hey, if it gets to $1. You know, and I'm 10x. Hey, just do that. You know, don't try to
Keep jumping around.
Yeah, you know, you got
This
to
is
be,
great.
you got to be disciplined and structured in this because you can get wrecked.
Yeah.
So should
You
I
can
take
get
my-
wrecked in this new asset class. You know, internet stocks in the 90s was very volatile. I remember I was brand new in the internet. I remember they told me, man, internet was a good project, but it's failed. You remember everything crashed in 99. Yahoo, everything went down. So we thought the internet was a failed project. So now that's what they're saying about crypto. But crypto is showing it has staying power, but it's still volatile because it's still new. So develop your exit strategy, and that's things I mentor on. But go ahead, you got a question.
So I should go ahead and pull out my Shiba.
Let me
and buy some more Dogecoin.
Let me add to that. And I no longer day trade, right? I day trade for fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like I day trade for fun, but that's not my primary income. My primary income is swing trading.
Oh man, y'all can
Swing
All right,
trading.
so it's swing trade.
Hold on. Let me see if
Right.
I remember this. Swing trade, that's when you do about a month, right? Or is that
It's just
young,
longer
period?
time.
Yeah,
it's
long
just a
time
longer
period.
time period, so you got more
Learning.
information, more concrete information to make
Okay.
a decision.
Okay.
But how I tell people, because I'm also, instructing people, hey, long term is where it's at, right? We look at history, yes, absolutely right. When you start day trading, 90%. There's a statistic that says 90% of day traders lose 90% of their money within the first 90 days. So by day trading, you got a 10% chance of success. And if you're a good trader, you know that that's a horrible risk to reward ratio. But you won't know that unless you're a good trader, right? So it took that learning curve for me to understand that. So what I say to folks who don't have that technical analysis background, first off, I say educate yourself, because the education system that we have didn't put that in us. So we gotta go and get that, because it's important. It's a real life skill.
Get that.
Learn technical analysis so that you can plan your entries and your exits accurately, right? Second, what if you don't have that? Okay, cool, you already in a position. If you're at a point where you've made a substantial amount of money, take profit. Take it out. Don't think that it's gonna go up forever.
Right.
That's what you were saying.
That's what he was saying.
It's like, exactly, it's instinct, right? He also said something else important. He said something about if you made a 10x, right? A lot of people don't know. If you take $1,000 and you 10x that $1,000, 3 years, that's $1 million. One 10x is $1,000 to $10,000. You got 1 year to find a 10x project. The second year, so you know where to take profit. That's 10x. Your $1,000 turned to $10,000, now you pull out. The next year, you take that 10,000, you get another 10x. That's $100,000. Pull out. You find another, during that time, you're looking for another 10x project. The third year, you got 100,000 inside of a 10x project. That's $1 million. 3 years. $1 million.
That was a great breakdown.
That was good.
Damn, hey.
So I'm just time for the segment, because I want to know.
I was just keeping it going. I don't know. We can modify.
I'm loving this stuff because I'm so
modify.
green in this.
I don't even want to ask.
we gonna
get those.
No, we need to get into that. We need to get into
this
that.
gonna be a little.
It's time.
All right, okay.
But
we'll do 2 more questions.
All right, so one question is, what are 2 projects right now that you guys are, yes, this is a project I'm believing in right now, I'm investing in
I was
it.
gonna ask that too. Yes.
So what are 2 projects, and let's try and keep it under like 2 minutes. You can explain the projects, but what 2 projects that you guys are like, I like this, I'm in it.
That's a good segment. You start.
Where are my notes?
I'll jump in. So, like back in the day, me and Fitz teamed up on some meetups and stuff. He speak about make sure diversification of your portfolio, just as if it was any other traditional market. So, I've been venturing off into the world of pre-sale tokens this year.
I gotta ask you a question.
What?
I gotta ask you a question. So there was a quote by Warren Buffett I read the other day. It says centralization builds wealth, diversification maintains wealth. What do you think about that?
And I think decentralization builds the next kingdom. So you said centralization, then.
So like if
what
I
he
focus,
said was just powerful. I never heard that, but that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
centralization.
Y'all need to replay that.
So let's talk about it. And here's my strategy, right? Because when I first got into crypto, I was excited about everything. Every project looked good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm taking
everything looked good when I got into crypto. I mean, I had 20 projects, and when I read that quote, it changed my life by Warren Buffett. Centralization builds wealth, diversification maintains wealth. Meaning that if you got all these different projects, that can help you maintain wealth. But then you got your money spread out all over the place. But if you focusing on a few projects, like he said, you can 10x. I know I got at least 3 projects going 10x over the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Over the next maybe
and
year and a half.
In that diversification approach, that is true, because most of this is basically I'm rolling over year by year and re-spreading out what I've been using since 2016. Like a lot of that's still with me today in different projects, for example.
Right.
And so that is
my diversification strategy is real estate. I'm gonna get with you. Like I've made a lot of money off crypto. You know. Yeah, I don't know if it's appropriate to be saying numbers, but I've made a lot of money off it. But now I'm starting to take some of those profits, buy property.
Assets,
yeah. So
sense.
that's my diversification.
Yeah,
that's how I'm gonna not be 90% leveraged in crypto by buying real estate.
Right.
You know, so
that's real. And so that makes me think that what I've done this year is jump into coins that are offered in a pre-sale, meaning that I could get the most units at the price that are probably never existed again. So I'm looking always to get millions or billions of units or whatever this is, and make sure that the community is lively and the volume is there, that one day I can start getting my profit and still have some left off, basically. So
Do y'all have a Telegram that I can join?
I jump in all the telegrams. I jump in all the discords.
Yeah, I was like, you have to preface it too. You read a lot of the white papers.
I go into the white papers. I get technical with
That's when
it.
you're technical. You read white papers, you technical.
Yeah, he goes and reads the white. So that's what you mean by do your own research.
Yes.
There are white papers that come with each of the coins, which says it's almost like the pamphlet in the book when you buy a product,
Yes.
and it tells you how to use it.
And
So
white papers
you wanna
and
study
technology and
white
white papers, it be so new that they don't even have books on it. You have to read the white papers. They don't even have books on it. So that's when it's cutting edge when you read white papers.
So for the sake of time, with 2 projects.
So my 2 projects, I'm still long on Ethereum because it's programmable money. It's programmable blockchain. It's the leader of that. And then honestly, I made good run with Shiba, so I'm still cool with Shiba.
I'm gonna keep my Shiba.
I've never seen this meme spoken, but
Right? I'm
Shiba
gonna
done
keep
did me
my
right this
Shiba.
year on a pre-sale or purchase way back in April.
Yeah. When your position's that strong, you can't lose, right?
You just sitting there.
Right.
All right. No, you still saying question?
Yeah, same
2
question.
projects. Like 2 projects.
XRP for global payments. Remember I said we're gonna revolutionize Ripple, and VeChain is gonna revolutionize. We do supply chain management.
logistics.
So 2 projects. I already explained it to Errol, and we're gonna do more mentorship on it. I'm gonna get more into the projects, the partnerships, the management team, future, the fundamentals, and I even do some TA. I'm not a strong TA guy, technical analysis where I can read a chart, but I can look at trends and find the support and the resistance level. Support is the bottom, resistance is the top, right? The ceiling, right? So
Cool. Well, I love Ethereum, but Joel said Ethereum, so I'm not going to say Ethereum. Long term, not relatively long term. 2 projects that I like are one, Polkadot. I think it's an emerging.
Yes.
It's an emerging layer 1. You guys heard me mention blockchain earlier as being infrastructure. One of my main investment strategy for identifying winning cryptos is finding cryptos that are absolutely needed, necessary for this crypto space to operate, for this new Web3 environment, right? Because the thing is, the internet is infrastructure, right?
Yeah, it is.
But whenever we make transactions on this internet, there's not a single entity or a place that everybody, that someone profits from, right? On Ethereum, you have to use Ethereum to operate on that network. Polkadot is the same way, right? It's infrastructure. It's required to operate in this ecosystem. So it's like plumbing. It's like highways. You absolutely need it. So whatever is built on top of it, Polkadot, Ethereum, things like Ethereum, layer 1 infrastructure will benefit from all of the projects that are built on top of it. Most of the coins that people mention are built on top of Ethereum.
Yep.
yes.
So it doesn't matter what those coins do. Guess what? Ethereum is going to win.
Yes.
Polkadot is a new emerging technology. And they got the benefit. Y'all ever heard of the saying, first is worst, second is best? Third is the one with the hairy chest.
Never heard of that.
I'm not gonna be able to say.
But first is worst, second is best. I love Ethereum. I still think Ethereum has a lot of potential, right? It's one of my favorite long-term holdings. But guess what? The marketplace is large enough to where it's multiple layer 1 infrastructure. We need multiple railways.
We got Coke and Pepsi, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. We got Verizon and AT&T.
Yes.
So
Big
Polkadot isn't as large as Ethereum, right?
Yeah.
It's significantly smaller. So there's much more upside potential. One of the guys who started Ethereum, same guy who started Polkadot.
Okay.
So you can start following it.
So your 2 are Polkadot and Ethereum.
No.
Okay.
Polkadot.
So far.
Yes, that's the same.
Polkadot is a great project.
Polkadot and Curve.
Oh, Curve? Okay.
Curve Finance. Curve is one of those projects that is going head to head, toe to toe with the banks. Curve provides liquidity and transactions for stable coins.
Oh.
A stable coin is a crypto that's pegged to the US dollar, so it doesn't fluctuate. Now everybody's like, oh, crypto is so volatile. Curve has a platform that facilitates the trade and transactions of stable coins. They charge a small fee.
I'm learning something.
You understand?
I like that.
Now, the really interesting thing about Curve, and I just looked at Curve again, yesterday? Curve has $20 billion locked into its platform.
You mean the market cap?
No. Curve is what you call a decentralized finance protocol.
Okay.
Competing with the banks. It's like saying a bank has $20 billion worth of assets.
Okay.
The market cap on Curve is approximately approximately 2 billion.
2 billion market cap. Okay.
So that means the shareholders, the shares are worth approximately, and I don't use shares, but I'm putting it in context so you guys can understand. The shares are worth approximately 2 billion, but these shares control 20
billion of the liquidity.
Billion.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? Compared to other decentralized projects, Uniswap is one of the number one leaders and one of the front runners. Has a reverse ratio, meaning that their market cap, is larger than the amount of funds that is actually going through their protocol, and they're a very successful protocol. So what that means to me is that Curve Finance is undervalued.
Opportunity.
Significantly undervalued, because if I'm thinking, if I have a bank, when you value technology companies and when you value banks, you give them you give them an evaluation based on a multiple. So if you got $20 billion in assets, you might be worth at least 5 times that. You understand what I'm saying? So although Curve has $20 billion, we could theoretically say that is worth approximately $100 billion. But it's only $2 billion controlling
of
that
the market.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think it should be at least even. I think the market cap should be at least even, and that's my thesis. And that's how you trade, and that's how you invest. The first thing that you should do is always have a thesis, an idea of why I'm putting my money into this, why I'm looking at making this particular trade. So my 2 coins are Curve and Polkadot.
So one of the things we're going to talk about, he mentioned it earlier, the Bible, coin market cap. It'll illuminate a lot of those things he's talking about: circulating supply, max supply, and you can figure out your market cap by multiplying the circulating supply by the time the stock price, and you can figure out your market capitalization like that. So great segment. Real deep. I see some glazy looking eyes.
I know.
we locked in.
Yeah, but very, very good segment. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, I actually have.
And I had a
you had a follow-up question?
So real estate, we got this thing called a real estate investment association.
Okay.
Right? Does crypto have and what we mean by that is that's somewhere we can go network, meet, talk to people about real estate, whatever. Does crypto have this type of environment?
You got meetups. Yeah. You got meetups. So in person, you got meetups locally here in the city.
Okay.
Meetup.com offers different opportunities to meet up. It may be on just Bitcoin. It may be programming Bitcoin. It may be just on Ethereum. So all these different sub-communities of cryptocurrencies do exist in meetup form. And then off that, everyone got a Telegram. But every one of them has a Discord server.
YouTube channel.
I
got like 10 different YouTube channels on file.
So you start to utilize the same tools of the internet infrastructure to connect. But in person, meetups have been something I've been utilizing, even put together and hosted meetups.
Oh, really? Okay.
Such that I'm sharing what I love with those who are more novice, so they can grow as well.
Right. I was just asking that question because, in real estate, that's what we have. An association where you can go and network.
A centralized place that you can go, and it's trusted professionals. It's like it sets a standard,
right?
And I think that may be what's needed to create, because
that's what I was getting ready to say.
Is more personal,
right?
But it's almost like but the very thought of it kind of goes against what crypto is. It's like centralizing a place of information.
Right.
But crypto is all about decentralization.
True.
So
I was just saying that.
paradigm.
So people, because a lot of times people follow the success, right?
Yeah.
So these two gentlemen right here and Joe, they got some success.
Yeah.
So typically, what we want to do, we want to go. Can we
Where
go
y'all
meet
be
up
at?
to go
Yeah.
talk to them?
So,
And, you know.
Well, they have mentor programs.
Okay.
I have a group. It's called New World Bankers, and
I like that name.
you know, we talk about different projects inside of our Discord channel, and in order to, and when you pay for a membership, you get access to my courses that, you know, for one, teach you how to build your own digital bank, what that looks like, teaches you a little bit of history about money and how money was formed, and you know why crypto is important from a monetary standpoint. And then part 2 goes into how to build your own portfolio. Once again, tapping into that education, or that missing gap of education that we have, that we never got from our traditional education system. So teaching you about portfolio rebalancing, teaching you about allocation, teaching you about how to create your own portfolio or investment thesis, teaching you about network effects, which is how these cryptos grow, teaching you about super dominance, right? The same things that they're you know, accustomed to in Silicon Valley when they're evaluating tech companies, we're putting in the context of crypto. So in order to get into the group, well, when you get into the group, you have access to that, because I'm big on iron sharpening iron. So whenever you come to the group, I make it my business to where when you ask me, or when you ask the group about a coin or something, hey, you got to tell us something about it. You got to tell us why you're interested in it. You got to give us some real information.
That's dope. That's why that was a real key.
I do the same in my group. I do the same. Somebody mentioned a project, and you're doing a presentation on it in our weekly call. Tell me, I want to know circulating supply, max supply, project team, management team, partnerships, adoption. Is it technology in use? Is the utility strong? I mean, has they ever had an error on the blockchain? I need to know everything. You know, we have to be informed investors, and so many great points. Fitz has so many great points, and let me tell you, we are so much smarter than our parents' generation. You know, look at what we did. We almost bankrupt Wall Street with, you know, the whole fast food Robinhood.
Yeah, Robinhood, AMC.
You know, we went the AMC. The banks went short on it, and we went long. You know, we got in the Reddit group and said, "Oh, you gonna short GameStop and AMC? Okay, we gonna go long." So we bet against Wall Street, and guess what? They was losing billions of dollars. Robinhood had to shut down the application to stop them from going bankrupt. They was losing billions. We smart. We know what we doing. We got banks shaking in their boots from the knowledge we have right now. That was a big moment in history. They called them and Congress did not hold them accountable for doing that. It was a whole bunch of hoopla when Robinhood went to.
That's why Bitcoin was created right there, because Congress is not going to.
It's a hedge against the bulls. Oh, I'm sorry. the BS they doing. No, that's okay. Right. The BS they doing, and I worked at the Federal Reserve, and I watched this quantitative easing, whatever fancy name they gave, all printing trillions of dollars.
Quantitative easing, yeah.
Printing trillions of dollars. You know what they're doing?
It's inflation.
This $500 I got in my pocket ain't worth nothing. I don't have the same buying power that I had last year because you print money. That's why Bitcoin is so awesome. There's a $21 million supply. No other Bitcoins can be created. So it's like gold. It's digital gold. You cannot create more. You cannot devalue by printing more Bitcoin.
And I heard this just recently.
Real quick, because he said something that I always make a point to iterate. He said it's like gold, right? A lot of people think of Bitcoin and cryptos as currency, right? For us in America, we already got digital currency. We got debit cards.
Digital.
So it's not interesting, right? But more for us, it's a digital asset.
Yes.
Everything is already digital. So we've now evolved to having digital assets, and that's how you have to think about it. Now, one other thing that he said that was really interesting that we gotta, tap into, he said that it's like gold. Yes, it's like gold, but guess what? It's very unique in the sense that Bitcoin is the first provably scarce asset. We know that gold is scarce, but we don't know exactly how much gold exists. They just found a mountain of gold.
Yeah, they just
you understand what I'm saying? They can't go and find Bitcoin.
21 million.
We know how much it is.
2141.
And it's an asset. It's a provably scarce asset. It's been running nonstop.
To January 3rd, 2009.
7 days a week, 365 days a year for the past 11 years.
Yeah.
Say the first provably scarce asset. So in my opinion, is more valuable than gold. It's more unique than gold. But it is in the category.
I just know when I travel certain places and you trade in $100 and they give you back a stack this big, you're like, I'm rich. Like I can go buy anything. Like, but that's what's actually happening with Bitcoin. When you hear that it hit 68,000 for one Bitcoin, for people who want to be scared about it or whatever, it's going to go away. But you got this much American money to get one of those assets.
Wow. Yeah.
It literally feels like just like when you go to those, third world countries. And
currency exchange.
You get that exchange, and that's telling you what's happening to the U.S. dollar right there.
When I first started getting into Bitcoin, it was 13,000. They say, "Oh, this is." My friend said it's gonna go to 100,000, and it didn't even seem conceivable that one asset, like she said, one could be worth $100,000. We almost hit 70. It got rejected at 69.
Yeah.
It said like it dropped down to 64. I just looked at it. But we got rejected at 70. But it's gonna go about 100 probably sometime next year. One Bitcoin gonna be worth $100,000. Blowing my mind.
And what's crazy?
This is generational wealth.
I just recently heard that we printed, or in the last year, we printed more money than we ever had.
Yes.
Like 40%.
40%.
Sounds like an inflation.
30-40% of our entire money.
You know what they're
the
doing?
US dollar.
You know what they're doing? They're propping up a market that is really the dollar is ready to collapse. People don't want to hear that, but the dollar is ready to collapse. They're propping it up. This economy is ready to fail. You print trillions of dollars just to keep the economy afloat.
Yeah.
That's why. What's his name? Satoshi.
Satoshi.
That's why he created a hedge against the dollar. That's exactly why he created the Bitcoin. Yeah. A hedge against this failing system that we're in right now.
Something really interesting. We're gonna have to save it for another conversation. But I recently saw a video that said that Satoshi might have been the founder of Chainlink.
Yeah, I'm showing they starting to unearth evidence that
Chainlink is a crypto. It's an oracle. An oracle is something that gathers information and spits information out to these different cryptos. So it'll gather information from like the weather, or it'll gather information from the housing market in a way that's decentralized, so that it's trusted, and it'll feed it to these decentralized protocols,
which is huge.
Very valuable piece
Write that down, Link.
Technology. They're saying that person might be Satoshi. So that's something for y'all to research.
It definitely helps the ecosystem. Being a developer, that just opened my mind up. That's the source that I could create any type of dApp that has a real-time data need from it. Maybe you could bet on, will it rain tomorrow at this geolocation?
Yeah.
And Chainlink will give me the precipitation data to confirm that, and either unlock the money or we'll keep it in the system.
All right.
So I know we're probably short on time to do our ending segment. Unless we got time for the I ain't gonna lie, I said we don't. All right, so you want to close us out, Miss?
This episode has just been a wealth of information. I've just been gobbling it all.
No pun intended. Pun intended.
What's something that takeaway that you learned from this conversation?
Everything. Everything. Like I ain't a big crypto guy. I'm green to it, but when I put my mind to something, like as an entrepreneur, I can make anything happen. So I'm really gonna be, my mind is gonna be focused a little bit more on crypto a little bit as far as from real estate. I've been in real estate for like 21 years. So now I gotta, diversify because technology is changing, and that's gonna be our future. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mo,
I was just gonna say, early adoption of innovation creates generational wealth. So, you're adopting it. Y'all here, we here early. I mean, still ground level. So kudos to you that you want to get in and understand the space. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Mo, what's the takeaway that you got?
All the above.
Right.
No, but seriously, I mean, it's just enlightening, because it's just so many, just like real estate, there's so many different avenues and so many different ways that you can go. So even seeing how you guys have different perspectives on different areas of crypto, still, what works for you works for you. Mm-hmm. What works for you works for you, right?
Absolutely.
You may be a buy and hold, long-term buy and hold. I might be a fix and flipper. You might be a wholesaler. Everybody has different things, but as long as you find success
in your
lane, that's all that matters.
And everybody eats.
Everybody.
So I got a lot of answers. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I intently listen to this conversation because this is like something I'm green still. Mm-hmm. So I love your thesis on, you know, centralization, keeping it all like 2 or 3 coins and go big on that. Yeah. And then once you get over that hump, then spread it out to diversify to maintain the wealth. Yes. I love that. Looking at the Polkadot and Chainlink as well too. So looking at those two. And then so before, because I did do a little crypto, like I bought Bitcoin at $900 and you know it did a little something for me, so I'm good. But what I was really big on was I don't have a strategy. I listened to both of y'all strategies, and you said, hey, I'm put something out here, three coins here, and I might do a flip with these meme coins, but these are my strongholds. Yeah. This is what I'm doing right here, but I'll play over here and still do with that. So that just give me more enlightenment to like, hey, you know, I'm literally thinking hold everything. Like I have not cashed out any of my crypto. I'm just like I'm holding it on.
That could be a good thing though.
It's the buy and hold in me. That's why I do that. But so that's why I learned.
Digital assets, most definitely.
What about you? Any takeaways?
My man's put me on that curve. I gotta do some research.
I was with the
check out that white paper tonight. I know it's fun.
It's boring, but it's very needed.
And that's the thing, like inside of these worlds of the technology, oh man, it's like
it'll be different.
It's like working in the boiler room of the Titanic, you know what I mean? But somebody got to do it,
like universe,
and he helps you to spring off new idea of what may be needed next. So definitely curve from my man's.
I mean, one thing I learned is specialization of labor. I'm big on that, and it's just like learn from somebody that's smarter than you, that specializes in the thing that you want to learn from. And I love diversifying because you know, you guys are gonna express how people can reach you. And, you know, hopefully you guys have networks where we can tap in. Yes. And, you know, you guys do the specialty, alert us, and then, you know, that's how we can continue to grow. Because as an entrepreneur, I'm constantly looking for ways. I have not had a paycheck since 2017. So I'm constantly looking for ways to increase, you know, my portfolio. So this was just very enlightening.
Let me add to what I want to piggyback because you just made me think, like, one thing specific that I did take away. When you guys are both saying when you're, people that are interested in learning or want to know what to do with this coin, what do you know about it? Because I ain't even gonna lie.
I ain't gonna lie.
Somebody says, oh, go get this coin. I look into it. I see where it is. I do a little bit of research, but the research that you guys are talking about doing, I'm not doing that, right? So I'm literally just kind of following suit. So now it's just like, okay, do your own research.
Get that yellow hat with the light on and go coal mining.
Exactly.
It's your money. It's your wealth.
Exactly.
You know?
So what's the takeaway that you got just even from being here as a guest?
I learned I need to move to Atlanta. I mean, no, it's gassing up. It sounds like it, but it really, I mean, the network of entrepreneurs right
That's
here.
what I was getting ready to say.
I don't have these conversations. I hope nobody's from New Orleans. I don't have these type of conversations in New Orleans. You know, maybe I'm just not in a part of the right networks, but man, you know, he and I have totally different strategies, but he's good at what he's doing, the swing trading, the trading. I'm a hodler. I flip a few projects. I mean, I learned that you're a developer. I mean, the wholesale real y'all made it applicable to how y'all look at real estate. And y'all flipped it to crypto, and I'm like, these some smart people. That's what entrepreneurs do. We're very creative. We're very agile in our thinking. We have a lot of agility, and we move fast. Right. And what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing a bunch of millionaires sitting here. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gassing up to y'all. I'm seeing 10X's. I'm seeing y'all getting projects that I've found, projects that he found, and projects that y'all find yourself. And I want to do some research. So
I cheers, sir.
You speak that life over me. I'm over here.
Y'all know I ran out of drink like a long time ago. Y'all done did that. I done drank my thing like
we was nursing.
Appreciate it.
So what about you, Fitz?
Man, I like what my man said. I'm a big Warren Buffett fan. So I always, revert back to Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. Right? Charlie Munger is Warren Buffett's partner. A lot of people don't know him. But he's the one who actually helped shape the way Warren Buffett thinks this day and time.
Come on.
Right? Warren Buffett learned
right-hand friend.
Come on.
Exactly.
It's the person that nobody really pay attention to.
Right. Because Warren Buffett learned from Benjamin Graham, who was influenced by the Great Depression. Right? Which is a totally different situation, right? He met Charlie Munger, and Charlie Munger kind of helped correct some of those thought patterns. So when he said that, Warren Buffett said that And I tell people, hey, you only need. I was literally just telling people this. I think yesterday. I was like, hey, you only need. No, that was today. You only need 2 or 3 coins.
Yeah.
You know, don't sit here and listen to people and think you got to go do this, do that. Like, nah, pick 2 or 3 solid coins, infrastructural, and you're gonna win, right? But what I like what he said was, he learned from Warren Buffett. Centralization is going to make you wealthy. Decentralization is going to help you keep. I mean, diversification is going to help you keep it. Right? That one statement is like a major takeaway, because now I'm going to pass that on to so many people, because it puts things in context.
Yeah.
It puts it in the order of what to do, right? Because I'm telling people, hey, yeah, you only need these 3 coins. I'm teaching you how to build a portfolio, but at the same time, I can admit, like, hey, I've never broken it down in that way to say, hey, you centralize and then diversify.
So it's centralization builds wealth, and decentralization
diversification maintains
it.
Like they say, your net worth is equal to your net worth. And if that's a part of this conversation here today, like, I see why all things entrepreneur is all about bringing together these elements to help catapult us in a whole new generational wealth conversation. So thank y'all for being here today. Thank y'all for inviting me. I mean, big up.
Hey, I mean, talking about being in a space with people like that are, it's always somebody that's smarter than you. Surround yourself around people that are smarter than you. That's so dope, because I'm like highly interested. Like, crypto to me, at first I was kind of like a lot of other people like, crypto. It's like everything else. Like,
because it's foreign.
It's foreign, right? It's foreign to us. Yeah. But y'all just opened up my eyes, man. Like, all 3, like, hey, I appreciate y'all, man.
Well, John, tell us how to reach you.
Tell us how to reach them.
It's at Jovial Joel _ Joel Myers here.
It's Kerry Alexander. You can find me at that guy DATGUI 2323. That guy 2323 on Instagram.
And y'all know y'all can find me on Instagram, financially Fitz, FITZ, and put you up on some real crypto sauce.
I know. This was an amazing conversation. So glad y'all were able to join us. So many takeaways. And you guys stay tuned. Tuning into another episode of All Things Entrepreneur. You just got 8. Team, tell them how to find you. Hit me up on Instagram at It's Jessica Myers.
I am Superstar Shauna with
DC on John.
And together we are Flippin' Love.
You can follow me on Instagram at mohustle_810.
You can follow me at The Real Grind Guy on Instagram.
You can find me on all social media outlets at Errol J. Allen.
Be sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel at 8.experience.
They was all skipping class. You graduated to a boss and they didn't pass. Ain't no such thing as losses, only lessons. Break bread, don't block your blessings. Get the money, but you know what's even more precious? Time. Nah, don't talk about it, go do it.